Today wraps up my interview with Justin Prestidge. He is the owner of Custom Trailer Pros. Today we're going to be talking about how to turn stumbling blocks into stepping stones so you can reach your business goals. Welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I am a food truck business coach, author of 5 food truck vending books, including Food Truck 101 and Food Truck 201. This podcast is all about helping you start and grow your food truck business. How confident are you about your menu pricing? Are your prices profitable, or are you just scraping by? If you're not sure, I've got just what you need. Table Needs has built a super simple menu pricing calculator that you can use for free, and it will help you figure out the best price point for every item on your menu. Get started with Table Needs menu pricing calculator today at tableneeds.com, or you'll find a direct link in the description below the podcast. I think what I like about your stance, especially on the warranty work, just to circle back to that for a second, when somebody goes to buy a new car, and you even mentioned that, if they drive that car home and there's a problem, say with the transmission, they call up the dealership and the dealership says, yeah, bring it in, I'm going to fix it. They don't say, well, that was made by Dayton Malleable in Ironton, Ohio, you need to call them.
Right. Right.
And food truck owners, they kind of look at the whole encompassing thing that they bought from a builder as, you're the one that chose to put this stuff in here.
Right.
Take care of it.
Exactly. Which I get. I always am torn on this because as a builder, I can be defensive. Like, it's not my craftsmanship that failed here, but from a personal perspective, I understand, like, yeah, they bought it from me. We're the one who assembled everything. So I can understand that. We do what we can to help them out for sure. You know, there are extreme cases where we've fixed errors due to operator error, but the operator is so new at doing this that they don't even know that it's their fault that something's broken. And they call and they're really upset with us. Hey, this XYZ happened. Like, okay, we'll send you a new one. And moving forward, when you operate it, you need to be aware of these factors, do these things differently. So we still try to help educate and maintain. Anecdotally, we've gotten the calls from people go, I'm stuck in my trailer. I can't get out. You know, I remember the first time I got that call and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know this is crazy. Like, this could be really scary if you're stuck in there, you know? And I'm talking them through it and realize they have their hood system running. They have no makeup air going. They have no windows open.
Suction.
And it's sucking the door on them and they can't get it open. So we track it down and go, okay, shut off your hood. Now can you get out? And they're like, oh yeah, real easily. Like, okay, well, at least it wasn't some major flaw with the equipment, but while you're operating your hood, make sure to have a window open or something so you get some return air.
That brings up a really good point. When a hood is on, there should be some type of makeup air going, because it's a good thing that the door was suctioned to close, so that shows how good the build is, because it could have not been suctioned closed.
Right.
Been whistling everywhere, you know.
Yeah.
One of those things, you don't know what you don't know, and then you feel kind of foolish when someone points out that, hey, just turn this off and you can open the door.
Exactly. Yeah. And some, a lot of our trailers are designed with makeup air, but some of them, really teeny tiny trailer and all that stuff. And so we do the best we can. And now after calls like that, we've gotten better at informing our customers ahead of time during their final walkthrough when they come to pick up the trailer. By the way, it's got to suck air from somewhere, so make sure you have a window or door open. Sometimes we even build a little RV window somewhere on the trailer so that they don't even have to have the full serving window open in order to operate. Anything like that will make it better.
But makeup air is not something that is been around forever. There are older buildings where there is no makeup air.
Right.
And you can feel it when you open up the front doors. You hear that little minute whistle when you finally break the suctions. Okay, the hood system is more powerful than the air conditioning being put back into the building. Or you have the opposite, where the doors almost open on their own because the air conditioning is putting so much air into the building, it's not being sucked out.
Well, and that's a good example too of just, it's one of 1,000 little things that if you've not operated in this space before, you're unaware of those things. And even when I say things like, well, we don't want to be the cheapest trailer out there, but we do want to be the best value. It's not just our service. From the ground up, our trailers are built differently. We order the trailer itself, the frame and the skin, from a manufacturer, but even at that, we order it in a very unique way. The exterior skin is more than twice as thick as what a normal exterior skin would be. The framing we put a little bit closer together so it's heavier duty, down to placement of the axles, depending on weight distribution. All that stuff those are things that we've thought through to make this as a truly custom vehicle that's made for someone's business and to be successful. That's just the build quality of the vehicle itself. Then when you start getting into what we've really put a lot of effort into is, hey, have you thought through workstations inside your truck? Well, what do you mean workstations? Well, if there's two people in the truck, one person's taking an order and the other one's cooking, and someone comes up to the window and just says, I just want a bottle of water. If the person in the window can't instantly hand them a bottle of water from the fridge right next to the window or wherever it is, somewhere right there, then that's a mistake. If you have to cross the workstation of the guy cooking and then you guys are running into each other's 12 times a day because you keep having to cross each other, that's not going to be a very efficient way to do business. So even in our designs, we divide it up into stations to make sure that people are thinking through it from that perspective. So it really is a ground up approach that we take to helping our customers not just be successful, but like to really help our customers understand what it is that they're getting into and what the proper mindset is that they're going to need to have in order to experience success.
That's a good point as far as the mindset goes. You've got to be optimistic for sure. You can't look at when something goes wrong as that, oh my God, it's falling apart. Yeah, it's just an opportunity for you to get better. And it doesn't matter where it's a piece of equipment that has failed or it's, your service was horrible because you weren't organized, you weren't prepped. Whatever the reason is, you look at it and you figure out how to do it better next time. And it sounds
Absolutely.
like you guys have figured out that way to do it better right now in your business.
Yeah, I mean, this is the advantage of being in business for a long time. In 2015, I didn't have all those things figured out. Literally, one of the greatest things I've learned in business is that it's really important to turn stumbling blocks into stepping stones. If you can learn to do that in your business to where you're learning from every situation, whether it's a good situation or a bad situation or a hard situation, if you're learning from every situation, those things that you might have screwed up your first time out, that will become an area of strength for you in the future because you've learned, you've adapted, you've corrected, and now you do that really well. And you understand how fatal it is to do it poorly because you did do it poorly. And that was really painful. Some people's response is, oh, poor me, bad stuff always happens to me. But a successful mindset or a winner's mindset is to learn from that, grow from that, take personal responsibility over that, and then be better. And if you can figure that stuff out in the food truck, it all comes at you really, really quickly. But if you can figure those things out, you have such an increased likelihood of being successful down the road.
When we look at, for example, our sales, when we have what would be a record for us, we pat ourselves on the back going, hey, that's awesome. But that's the end of the celebration because now we got to figure out what do we do that made us be this busy today so I can duplicate that tomorrow and in the future. And then if something didn't go quite right, what can we do to prevent that? And so we're always analyzing what we've done and we do it day by day. You have to do it that way. Otherwise, you're really just crossing your fingers and hoping that something's going to happen good today. And if it doesn't,
right.
Like you said, nothing ever good happens to me.
Right. Exactly. This is why, as we started the conversation, it's a good place to end as far as thinking that if my food is good enough, I'll be successful. That's one piece, and good food is really important, but that is only one piece of the overall picture to being successful in this industry.
I think that you mentioned people going, what's a station? That's because they look at the food truck as being just their home kitchen, albeit bigger. And they haven't really thought through the business end. That's what you started the conversation out with. This is a business. You got to think of it in those terms. And I'm glad to see that you guys actually move people through that without them realizing in some cases, I would imagine, that you're educating them
for sure
without them sitting in a classroom and being educated.
Right.
This has been an awesome conversation. I wish I had more time because I would talk to you another 2 or 3 hours. Been very enlightening, and I appreciate your time today.
Well, I'm super happy to be here. I love doing it. Again, this is just one part of something that I'm passionate about, and that because of that, it's instilled within our company. I've hired people who are also passionate about this, and so anything that I can do, any opportunity I have to serve and educate our customers, again, to lift the industry as a whole, even if I'm helping someone else who's already in business and they're never going to buy a product from me, but it helps them think through it better and be more successful, and that makes me happy. And so I'm happy to be here. I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. I enjoy talking to people that are passionate about what they do, and clearly you are. And then the fact that you're also passionate about uplifting the whole industry, we need a whole bunch more people that have that attitude.
Yeah. Oh man, wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah, it would. We would have fewer people fail if there were more people in the position, and there are a lot of people that are in that position
Right.
to uplift, then it makes it easier for everybody.
Yeah. Well, and I get inspired by the community itself. When I see groups like yours, the food truck training, and the amount of people who are helping each other out, and the stories you even hear of competing food trucks who are next to each other at an event. One has a problem, the other one comes over and helps. That's the way it should be. There's enough business for us to all be successful if we're doing it the right way. And if we're doing it the right way, then that means the guys who aren't doing it the right way are, if there were enough of us, those guys it would be clear and obvious, and they wouldn't be able to last long.
Exactly. And they would eventually go away. I mean, you see that in the restaurant space all the time. The new people come in and make the poor performers go away, basically.
Right.
The poor performers had a choice of stepping up their game or not, and they chose not to, and they go away.
Exactly.
Today has been an awesome. I love talking to you. I appreciate it. We're going to do this again because I feel like we just barely scratched the surface.
Right, for sure. Well, I'm happy to do it anytime.
Thank you so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. If you're finding all the information helpful to your food truck business, please become a monthly supporter of the podcast. Just hit the support button or follow the link in the description. Every little bit does help keep us going. Join our Facebook group. It's called Food Truck Training. We have a whole bunch of awesome members at all different levels, from brand new beginners to decades-old veterans. They've all got your back when it comes to helping you with your food truck. And again, thank you for listening. Come back tomorrow because I got plenty more to say when it comes to helping you and your food truck business grow.